Jimmy. Jimmy. Jim James, son!
Well, one of the first things to do is determine why the taillights do not work. All three of them, we know why this one doesn't work. She's just hanging out. But these two don't seem to do anything when I turn the headlights on. The headlights work, and so do the blinker lights. So I ended up finding this, just sitting in the corner here. It looks like somebody was about to get to changing the bulb, and then never did. And we know that these plates actually went to this car because I checked the registration out of Las Vegas. As you can see, this bulb has perished. So we put the nice one that we found for free in the trunk, and it works. I went and turned the headlights on, works. All you gotta do is take these two Phillips head screws out and slide the taillight out, and there you go. So it would appear same issue more or less on this side. I don't know if you can tell, but the contact has melted and gone sideways. So that's why this one did not work. Yes, I know my fingers look awful. I'm a mechanic, okay? Fortunately, when you're a mechanic, you do not get the luxury of having nice fingernails or even keeping all your fingers. So let's go ahead and stick this in here, and unfortunately, I'm gonna need two hands for this. So I ended up finding out that there's actually two of these, one of which is kind of crusty and not looking so healthy. And I took the bulb out. I don't know if you can see this, but the bulb is just, it's empty and it's broken and it's, well, it's shit. I don't know if I have one of those, so I'm gonna have to go dig around and see if I can find one real quick. So I made a deal to get 4 tires for this van. And you can see that this is like hell for me because I have basically 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet on either side of the van. So I had to put the jack up under the pumpkin of the differential and get the wheels off. But really, this is like a nightmare. You know, happy Halloween. Trying to get these decrepit tires off that have not obviously moved in many years. Somehow a rat got in here and shit in the actual center of the rim. I don't know how that works. And look, a little spider. So I've got this tire off almost. This one in the front is right here. It's already off. Look how bad that tire is. I mean, it's really bad. And there's basically no jacking points on this car, I've learned. You know, you'd think there would be, but there isn't. So hopefully it doesn't tip over and smash into the side of the trailer. Wouldn't that be something else? So now we have two, count them, 2 functioning taillight bulbs. And I'll put these back in their little spots and check all the taillights. But in a second, I have to go up front and tighten the battery terminal. And I'm gonna get rid of all the junk that's in here because this is all just junk. So after turning on the headlights, my guess is the brake light switch does not function because we have one light lit up here. And for some reason, these lights are lit up, which tells us that the brake switch is permanently open, meaning that the brake lights are stuck on and we have no light here. So we will have to take that out and see why we have no light. So let's track down this little issue first. And before I forget, new tires all the way around, all 4. Those came out to about 350 bucks just for these stupid things. They're not even great quality. So at least you got tires now. Let's get these brake light issues sorted out. And let me see if I can get that brake light working. Also, okay, so the brake light switch actually works completely fine. I'm just an idiot. This is a dual contact, meaning it's dual filament bulb. And I installed a single contact, so it was shorting it out. If you notice, once I took this bulb out, we no longer have brake light, just running light. And the brake lights are off. So by sticking this in here, basically it somehow shorts the whole system into turning all the brake lights on. Not sure how that works, but we're gonna have to go get a dual filament bulb for this because all the ones I have are single and or broken. So let me go check in my trunk and see if I have a couple of those. So we are out here driving the pile of a van. Look down the street and make sure nobody's coming. And surprisingly enough, she does drive. So that's good. I'm sure it's going to be profusely smoking by the time we get to the gas station up here, but it just needs some gas and some fuel injector cleaner over there because I'm assuming this gas in this vehicle is comically old. So let's get us some gas and see if that smooths the idle out at all, because the idle on this thing is sort of like a diesel Mercedes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 20 bucks in it of mid-grade unleaded with the hope that it does not come pouring out the bottom half or, you know, worse. So let's see what that does. After this, I'll put some fuel injector cleaner and we will take off down this access road. There, we got the injector cleaner in. She starts right up. Let's go take it down the access road and see what's going on. She smells like something might be burning. In fact, I'm sure it's all that, you know, nasty old stuff that's been sitting on the engine for quite several years, burning off. This thing vibrates absolutely terribly. I bet you it needs motor mounts or maybe that drive shaft coupler that's very common on these has gone bad. But yeah, other than that, we'll see what happens. I'll come back in a few minutes and see if we're on the side of the road or what. So we're back in the driveway now. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this thing shakes like a freaking earthquake. See the mirror over there? Just the whole car, really. This is a very common problem with these Previas. It's either one of two things. The motor mounts, they're like little sandwich mounts on either side, have gone bad, or more than likely the actual dual drive shaft coupler. There's like a BMW designed coupler, of course, BMW, between the two drive shafts, and that has a habit of failing and doing this. So what we're going to do now is put it in neutral, and if the shaking completely dissolves, then it's probably the drive shaft coupler. And you can see we've basically gone down to 0 shaking. Let's see if she does it in reverse. That's another good way to tell. Oh yeah. Oh, it's even worse. Yeah, so this thing's probably got a bad drive shaft coupler. It's kind of a rotten pain in the ass to change because you have to uncouple both drive shafts, and there's these weights that turn sideways, and they have to be done in a specific orientation or it will cause a premature failure of the drive shaft coupler. But I mean, at least it made it home and made it around the block. And yeah, so that's good. So we're gonna have to crawl up underneath there for a little bit and check why that's not working. But I also need to check why this blinker light is freaking out. So let me check that real quick. And you will notice, even with all of these problems, it still passed inspection. As you can see. Isn't that funny? So that one's working. It's probably going to be this one up here, I'm assuming. And it is. It is this one. It is not working. So we'll have to change that. So I think I know why the exhaust is so loud. Hey, there we go, fixed. We're gonna crawl under here, and I'm gonna expect to see a completely rotted out exhaust. Oh yeah. Completely rotted out. Okay. Also there. So that explains the loudness. Okay. Front blinker light is now working. Let's see if we can see down there. Turns out it was just corrosion. So that's good. One thing I decided to do was finally clean out this nasty door pocket, and we did find a lot of junk in there. Also some treasures.
And they're carrying treasures from the pyramid before the treasures are smuggled out of the country. The stolen treasures.
An 11mm wrench. A run right little flathead screwdriver, which is always good. A very long little skinny flathead screwdriver. A couple of bolts, which you can tell probably go to this car. A Stanley level, which is cool. I'll probably use that for something. And like a small shotgun shell or something. Still live, it would appear. So let's throw that in the appropriate receptacle. And I think the rest of this is just like junk. Oh, look. A single peso. Worth approximately nothing. It would appear we have even more treasures down in here, and none of which of the very good variety. A lot of spoons in this car. Oh, another peso. I get another 1,000 of those and I might have 50 cents. But yeah, stuff like this doesn't really interest me. Ooh, dirty. I don't think there's going to be any kind of order to this video. It's just going to be sort of scattered everywhere autistically. It's just how we're going to do this particular rebuild, unlike my other ones typically. One of the things I want to focus on is getting this door open. It's really important to have the sliding door functioning. I was able to get this freed up that locks and unlocks, but I can hear that it's not Listen, it's not fully actuating the lock. So even though if you put it here to unlock, it will not open the door. So that's something we're gonna have to probably tear this whole panel off and just damage the rest of it, I guess, and see why this is stuck and not opening. That seems more disheveled in here than I remember, but it is what it is. There's also this giant belt, and I have no idea what the hell this belt goes to. I don't think it's to this vehicle, but it's brand new. Looks like maybe some kind of, I don't know, some kind of like machine.
You don't say!
Definitely not for this. We got some plastics. Hey, those are the seat plastics. That's good. Bunch of junk in here. There's a Ticonderoga pencil. What is this? Identification card. For the dead and the living, we must bear witness. United States Oof. Well, that got dark pretty quick.
People used to say a lot of nasty things about me. Oh, this guy's a lunatic. Oh, look at that psycho. He's gonna get us all killed.
Ooh, baby. Well, that reminds me of that tragedy, so let me just go ahead and stick that back in there, pretend we didn't see that. Instead, focus on the vampire hunting stake. Had no idea Abraham Lincoln owned this car before I. But we really got to get this thing cleaned out. It smells awful in here. It's gotten worse over the last few weeks, that's for sure. So let me get all this crap out of here, and then we could focus maybe on something a little more important. So I was able to completely pop this door panel off and look inside here. So it looks like we do have some problem here. I'm not sure why when you pull this down, it pushes the wrong way on the lever. I would assume it would pull up and not down. But that's just me. You would think this would go up. You can tell this is not good. See the screw loose in there? So the actuator is probably no good that controls the power lock and unlock. There's a cut wire right here. Also probably not good for locking and unlocking. So we've definitely got ourselves a little bit of work to figure out why this contraption no longer contrabulates. So after about 40 minutes or so of just looking at this thing and not understanding a slight bit of it, you're not going to be able to see this, I don't think, but right there is a little metal rod. You see that right there, kind of where my screwdriver is reflecting light? And on the other side of this thing is like a pin that goes through, and the rod, there's like this little U-shaped rod was actually like this when it should have been like this. So I stuck the flathead end of the screwdriver in here and pried up, and now the door will actually open and work. So that was the problem. Somebody pulled back on this too hard and actually hopped the rod off of its track. So now the door actually works. And it didn't cause me anything. That looked creepy. It looks like Thomas the Tank Engine's face. You see that? I don't like that. The haunted Previa. But yeah, it works. Ugh. Whether or not it opens. Hey, it even opens from the outside. Look at that. Okay, I'll take that. Well, I was hoping to end this video on a little bit of a positive note. And there is some of that. And by little, I mean this little. Okay, so we're underneath the Previa now. It's probably hard to tell. I can't even breathe. It's a good thing I weigh 150 pounds because look how much room Mr. Fatso has under here. Anyway, this is the motor mount right there. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. I guess I can't because I have no space. See that? All right. There is no more motor mount. The motor mounts that hold up the transmission are completely gone, and I mean gone. So the good news is it's not the drive shaft coupler that is bad. It is the motor mounts, which, you know, that's a hell of a lot easier to change. I'll take that. However, I discovered a slightly larger problem while I was down here, and a slightly more expensive problem. Let's see if I can wiggle my body out and show you. Are you ready? Because all I got to do is turn around to show you this nightmare. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oof, 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 oof. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. So we've got what I would consider an oil leak. It appears to be coming from the valve cover gasket, I hope. It definitely looks like it. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out, that looks like a forward motor mount right there, but it looks good. Definitely the transmission mounts that have gone belly up. So let's see if I can get a hold of those motor mounts. And, you know, I guess we'll come back when I have some more for you. Hey, look at that. There's a cat. Well, alrighty then. That's not my cat. But anyway, let's come back when I can get some parts for this thing. Because since we're already down in this godforsaken space, we might as well change the distributor cap, the plugs, the wires, the rotor, and valve cover gasket, just about everything else. Just so I can get this thing to not turn into an inferno when I start it up. And that's where I'm going to leave you on this one, which I believe is the end of part 2. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Behold, I have found the, Ooh, baby.